everybody. Hi and welcome. I'm Karen with the Noble Willow, and I'm going to be painting this piece behind me from start to finish on my lives. We're not going to get it all finished tonight, but I thought I'd give it a good try. So if you don't know me, I am a furniture artist. I also am a retailer for the DIY paint by Debbie's Design Diary. And so you can get that. Well, we'll put a link down below, my affiliate link down below. You can click on it if you're interested in getting any of the paints that I use tonight. Also, my website's up. So if you can go to www.thenoblewillow.com, and I have all of my links also there. So I'm going to start with, I already started cleaning this. I was hoping to have that finished before now, but time got away from me. So I started with TSP, which is it's a wood cleaner. I'm probably going to go with something a little bit less harsh in the future, but I'm going to finish up what I have left. So I've cleaned it all with the TSP. I have one little spot on the side I'm going to grab. I think it's gum. I'm not sure. So I'm just going to use my Glue Gun quick. And then I'm going to give this a rinse and we're going to get started. I'm going to do a technique that I saw done. I've used, well, I've been painting for 12 years. I'm learning different techniques by different furniture painters in the community. And one of them is using vinegar. So Dion Woods, I believe, and Quita Allen with All Shaved Out would use vinegar on their pieces. It just gave it a really cool finish, which tonight I'm going with a real weathered, like a real weathered look. I want it to look like an old pot that's been sitting outside for years. And so in order to achieve that, I want it to look like layers of paint. Rusty, crusty, some of it's already been chipped off. So the other night I saw Malia Klein with, I believe it's mustard
Mustard Seed Market?
Mustard Seed Market. If I'm wrong, I apologize, Malia. I'll also put your link down below if it's not there yet. But anyway, so she squirted it with vinegar water, 50-50 vinegar water, and then used sea salt. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do on this piece behind me. I'm going to start with dark. Are you able to see down below?
No, but I can.
Okay. So do you guys remember, like the first time I went live a couple months ago, I said I couldn't wait till I had my own camera person? I do. And she's here tonight. Her name is Hannah. She's awesome. She's been helping me with my social media and just teaching me the ropes. So hopefully you guys will get more professional looking photos and all of that. So my Glue Gun's not working, so that's pretty normal. And I stepped out, so I just screwed off the top. And like I said, I've already wiped this whole piece down with the TSP. So now I'm going to, the next step will be to rinse all that off with water. And I just lost some lighting, so I'm going to go turn that on quick. Okay. Okay, you guys, so all of this has been wiped with the TSP. I'm gonna work on the sides and get those a little bit better once I'm finished with you guys. You can't really see the sides. So I'm just gonna rinse good with water. Make sure any residue is off. Like I said, I was hoping to get this part done before I came on, but that just didn't happen. So my colors are going to be all DIY. I'm going to paint the whole piece in crinoline, which is a creamy white, creamy color. And then I have letterpress gray. I have old school, gravel road. And I'm even going to go with a darker one than that. I don't know what that is yet. Maybe either a black velvet or one of the darker DIY colors. Okay. I'm also going to use a crackle medium. So tonight's plan, now that I have it clean, I've got it rinsed, I'm going to do my first coat of crinoline, and then I'm going to go over that with my crackle medium just in the places that I want it. I don't want it to be full on crackle. I just want some certain areas to be crackle. And that's probably all the further we're going to get with tonight's live. But I will be back on. I probably won't be back on tomorrow, but I will do my very best to be on Friday evening. So, let's see. I'm going to be using my DIY synthetic Dusty. I'm not sure if it's called the Dusty. I know that the natural bristles are called the Dusty. I should probably know that. I'm also a Paint Pixie retailer. Okay. So I am going to put a liberal amount on for this first coat. So when I put crackle over it, the underneath will be this white, or this creamy color. And then I also have a leg on the bottom that I need to fix. It's one of those big clunky balls. So I'm going to try a new product that I've never used before. I may do that online, or I might just post pictures along the way. I haven't decided yet. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Hannah will read them out.
Wendy said that she loves this piece, and you got a hey from Wendy, Bobby, and Linda.
Woohoo!
Oh, and is that BB?
That might be BB.
I think so. She said she will driving and she'll watch the replay.
Awesome.
Oh, and you have CA Flower Girls on Instagram. She said that she hopes she will fix the leg online because she would be very curious to see how you did that.
Okay, I will do that then. There you go. So I have this, it's called Easy Mold silicone putty, and that's what I'm going to make my mold with. And then I'll probably just use either an air dry clay, or I may even use the resin, the Amazing resin, but I'm not sure yet, so we will find out. But I also know once I make the mold, that will sit overnight. Once I put the goop in, I'll have that sit on overnight, so I'll do the big reveal the next day. But I'll do it all online, or do it all on live. Okay. I'm not sure of the age of this piece. I think that the finish is so old on it that it almost feels like plastic, but it's not. It's all wood. But the finish is just so dry and crackled. It's not peeling though, so I know that whatever I put over it is safe. It won't, I don't have to worry about it chipping off or anything. anything else I need to hit that you can think of?
Oh, your classes.
Oh, my classes. So I will be starting this month. I've had lots of requests for classes. So I will be at the Rustic Ladder, and that is in Jonestown. All the information is on therusticladder.com or on my Facebook on the events. And you can click on those. You can pay for those right there and sign up. There's a minimum of 4, I think, to make the class successful. And then there's a maximum of 8. We have very limited space, so if it is something you're interested, I would probably do it sooner rather than later, but...
Oh, and Wendy said, what will you use on the front since the glass is gone?
Okay, the glass, that's a great question, thanks. The glass is actually upstairs under a bed, so it does not get broken. And then there's a scrolly, if you've seen these, there's a really thin scrolly that goes on here, and I took that off as well. I will be painting that the same color. I will probably be doing that whole thing in the crinoline and putting that back in once I get this finished. I'm thinking about doing a really cool, maybe black and white paper on the back.
That would be cute.
Yeah, so that's what I'm envisioning right now, but as you all know, sometimes that just changes in the middle of things. So right now, that's the plan. So we shall see. So once the inside is finished, then I will be putting the piece back on. I'll be putting the trim back on. And I don't think I'm going to go all the way in with this paint. I don't know if you can see, I'm just not going to fill in the whole bit. I want to give it that rustic look. It doesn't have to be 100% covered for this look that I'm going for. The majority of it will be. So this is my first time on Instagram, so welcome and thank you for being on here. This is pretty exciting.
And Wendy said yes to the paper. She found some at the Container Store and that you have options in Austin.
Awesome! Thank you, Wendy! Okay. So I'm just going to finish off the top. So my goal is to go about 45 minutes with you guys. It may go a little, shorter. Hopefully it won't go any longer than that. But I do want to get my, crackle medium on here. But I can't even put that on until this has dried. So depending upon how soon this dries. Normally this chalk paint dries pretty quickly, but it's been pretty darn humid here, and that really plays a factor.
Okay, Wendy, we're both on Facebook Live and Instagram Live. We have 2 phones here, so we're streaming on both. So you're watching from Facebook while other people are watching on Instagram, just so you know. She asked which one we were on. And Brenda Galloway says hello.
Oh, hi Brenda. Thanks for watching. Okay, so for anybody popping on after I started, I'm just putting on the very first coat of crinoline, and once this dries, then I'll come back and I'll do the crackle medium. So I'm a DIY paint retailer. That's Debbie's Design Diary. But the crackle medium that I'm going to use is by Dixie Belle. So they have a great crackle.
So Lorraine Hart said hello from rainy New York.
Awesome.
And Alora asked about the salt and vinegar technique you're using.
Okay, so it just gives it a really, I used it one time just recently, and I loved the effect that it gave. It gave a real weathered look, like it just had layers and layers of paint that's been chipped away over years of weather. And that's the look I'm going for. So it's just a chemical reaction. Once that vinegar and that salt hit each other, it just causes this beautiful effect. And that's what I'm going for on this piece. I'm going to go with the dark down below, and then it's going to be in the grays and then the lighter colors. But under the darks, I want the lighter colors to be able to show through. And that'll be achieved with the vinegar and the salt combination. And that was a method. I've used vinegar in the past. I don't know if I really saw it do much or not. It was, I just saw other painters use it, and I liked what it did. But the other night, Malaya Klein, I hope I'm saying her name right, she did a live using this technique, and I absolutely loved it. So I'm going to give it a try on this great big huge piece and hopefully do it justice.
Laura also asked do you mix it on with the paint, and then she asked again with the spray bottle.
No, and you will see all of that. I will do that all live on here, and you'll get to see how it works as I'm doing it. Okay? And I will be on again. We won't get that far tonight, so I won't even be doing that. I will be on, I'll be doing the crackle medium tonight, and then when I come back on, I'll be putting on my next paint colors mixed with my vinegar spray and my salt. And I'll try not to stand in front of the camera. Hopefully that answers your question, but you'll get to see all of it during my lives. And if you can't make the lives, you can always hit the replays.
We're also going to be putting them on YouTube.
Yes.
In case anybody was wondering.
So my YouTube channel is up. And so I'll be putting these on there as well. Okay. Can you see this?
Yes.
You good? Okay. And can you get the bottom drawer?
Mm-hmm.
If I go down? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to move my fan. I'm going to drag my fan around so I can hopefully get this to dry a little quicker. Okay. Hopefully that'll work some.
All right, we are aimed at the lower drawer.
Okay, we're aimed at the lower drawer, so I'm going to scoot down here. And I'm going to just continue. I'm going to do the whole piece in this crinoline. A beautiful creamy color.
At CA Flower Girls, she
Yes.
said, so good to know that you have a YouTube channel.
Oh.
We are currently building them, so keep your eyes peeled.
I will. Okay. So far this has gone on really nicely. Normally I do a lot of squirting with my water bottle, but tonight I just have not had to. Okay. Now, had I thought this out a little bit more, I probably should have started at the bottom because that's where the majority of my crackle is going to go. So now that it's nice and fresh and wet, may throw my schedule off a little bit. And then if you want to tell me how long I've been on.
Sure. Once I get a free hand, I can look for you.
If somebody wants to post for me what time it is, how long I've been on.
Let me see.
Okay. Get my leg out of the way.
It is 6:21.
All right. 6:21.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're good on time.
Yep.
And I'm going to stop right there. I'm not going to go any further because I am going to fix that bottom. And I'm probably going to do something special with the legs. So we'll just put that.
What brush are you using?
I am using, this is my synthetic brush by Debbie's Design Diary. So it's put out by Paint Pixie, but it's Debbie Designs paintbrush, and it's synthetic. The Paint Pixie brushes are natural bristles, and this is the synthetic. And really, it's all personal preference, depending upon just your own personal preference.
And Christy said that the brush looks flat.
It is. It is a very flat, thin, dusty. And it's awesome for, well, first off, doing large areas, but it's also awesome for blending colors. So if I have white on top and a dark on the bottom, I just blend. And it just works beautifully.
And Hunt asked if this is just paint.
This is just paint? Is that what the question
Yep.
is? Just paint? Yes, this is the only thing I've done right now is apply one coat of Debbie's Design Diary. It's the DIY paint, and the color is Crinoline. It's just a creamy color. Okay, so the bottom is finished for right now. So I'm going to just let that dry for a minute. I'm actually going to go and get an extension cord really quickly and put my fan on it a little bit better. So I'm taking just a short little break. I'll be right back. And you can answer any questions.
Welcome, Hope. Welcome, Katie. I think the chair really is cool. I'm kind of too afraid to sit in it because it's kind of the queen's chair. Just kidding. But I think it's an awesome chair.
Ooh. Okay. So.
And you have a question.
Okay.
From Christy.
Alrighty.
And how is the flat brush different from the round brush that you were using?
It's just the coverage, and it's just the way, it just depends upon what look you're going for with your brush. Right now, I'm doing long areas at a time. They're great for drawers, going across drawers. The round brushes do the exact same thing. It just, whatever feels best in your hand. I'm going to be blending later, so the majority of the piece is probably going to get done with this brush. Because it does everything I need it to do. Now, well, except for like getting in this little area, a little round brush might be good, but I don't need to dirty all of them, so I'll make do.
You have another. Hope asked what the salt and vinegar did. She said, sorry, she just joined in a little bit late.
That's okay. The salt and vinegar just gives it a really rustic look. It gives it just a really cool finish. A real old world chippy. And this came off for some reason. It gives it just a really
I'll go figure it out.
weathered look. I'm not sure if that really explains it, but I can just say old world, like a real weathered, old grungy look. And it gives it some texture.
I see the problem.
Okay. So sorry guys, we're trying to work on the fan situation.
Is it on again?
Yeah, it's going. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
So my camera girl, she's multitasking.
Oh.
And she's the best, you guys. You guys need someone to handle your social media.
You're sweet.
She's available, but I'm gonna covet her for a while. So. Okay, I'm just gonna try to get to this little strange area right there, and I'm really just procrastinating so that the bottom can dry some more before I go on with the crackle.
Okay, so you got a question from Sarah.
Okay.
She said, "Do you spray it on after you're completely done do you just spray it on after you are completely finished painting everything?"
Spray what on? The salt and vinegar?
She did not specify. That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, and all of that, you'll get to see all of it as it comes together.
And you also have a question: if you spray it on, or do you mix the salt and vinegar with the paint?
No, you don't mix the two together. So you'll see all of it as it happens. I'll show you step by step as we go, okay? And then you'll get to always hit the replays.
And Lizette asked, how much of the salt and vinegar are you going to use? Where do you add it to? And what kind of paint? I'm assuming what kind of paint you're using.
And again, all those questions, you guys, will be answered as you watch this process happen. All your questions will be answered. It's a 50-50 mix of the vinegar and water. You put it in a squirt bottle. The salt is just, I use just a fine sea salt. And you'll see, as I put it on, the effect and everything. And you'll get to watch how I do it and everything. Right now, let's see. Right now I'm seeing a little bit of bleed through. I don't know if you can get a close up.
Yeah, let me see here.
And if I have a lot of bleed through, you guys, I may just need to put another, this may just stop the whole process. Because now I'm going to either use shellac, which is right here. It is somewhere in here. So, and this is a lot of the reason why I don't like to use whites. Because you do have a tendency on these older pieces to get bleed through. And that's when the tannins in the wood actually come through the surface and it comes through the paint. And I've got brown spots down here that are starting to come through. I also know though, because I'm going to use darker colors down there, it might not be that big a deal. But if I don't want the bleed through, I'll go ahead and apply probably 3 coats. I'll I'll spray 3 coats of this. You let it dry in between and you put it back on, and it will put a barrier between the tannins and your paint. So because those are the only places that I'm seeing right now that's coming through, I'm just going to leave it and make sure that I hit it with the darker colors, because you're not going to see the bleed through with the black. So that's what I'm going to do for now. I think it's dry enough. I'm going to turn my fan up one more notch.
Becca asked if you're using DIY paint.
I am using DIY paint by Debbie's Design Diary. The 4 colors that I know I'm using are going to be Crinoline, Old School, probably Gravel Road. I'm using all the gray tones, maybe Skeleton Key, and probably a really dark black. And I may even blend a couple of them together. I want to make, I can't find the picture, but there is an actual picture of a weathered pot. I don't know if it's a concrete pot or it could be what is the word that I'm looking for? Not porcelain, ceramic. It could be a ceramic pot. I'm not sure, but it was really weathered, and it was darker down towards the bottom with grays coming through and creams coming through. And that's kind of the look I want this to end up being when I'm finished. So I'm going to try this salt and vinegar finish. I've only done it one other time, and I absolutely loved the way it turned out. I did it with white and a blue minty color, and then I did it with yellows and reds. And so it turned out really beautiful. Not so sure it's, I'm not sure how it's going to end up looking when we get finished with this. We're all going to find out together. It could bomb, but it might not. It might be really pretty. So
Christy asked if you have ever, do you ever sand the piece first?
do I, if it's really rough, if it has a chippy finish on it, like if it has a chippy finish on it, of course I sand anything that might possibly be loose. I also, but very seldom. Very seldom do I have to sand a piece first. It really just depends. Now I will sand the piece very, very softly when this is all finished. You don't have to, but I prefer to. But normally I give it a good clean at the beginning, unless it has a really high gloss. If it has a high finish, DIY paint sticks to anything. Glass, metal, what else is there? Just any shiny, slicky surface, it adheres to. But if I'm going to be selling a piece, I want that 100% or above surety that I'm not going, that it's not going to scratch off. So I will use a bonding agent. I know Dixie Belle uses or has a slick stick product, which everybody just raves about. I have some. I have not used it. I actually have a huge dresser in the other garage right now that I'm probably going to do on, but I may probably do that one on a live as well. I'm going to finish on this one first, and then that will probably be my next piece that I do.
Is that simple or soft reflections?
No.
Oh, okay.
The piece out in the garage is a great big, I think it might be 9 drawers. And so it's a long, low boy, very long. It might even be 6 feet. So I will be doing that one.
And Laura, the former bluish dresser or piece she was talking about where she did the salt and vinegar.
Yes.
You can see a sneak preview of that on her Facebook page.
Yes.
And whenever it's done, it will be up on her shop.
Yes. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm finished with this. And for the most part, it's dry. I'm going to put this lid on. And now I'm just going to go in with my crackle. If I can find my crackle. And I am not a retailer for Dixie Belle. I just really like their products. They have a lot of fun products. And so my brush is around here somewhere. And so this is just a really thick, just imagine like a clear glue. That's what it looks like.
And Katie asked if you were going to do the inside too.
Yes, I'm going to do the inside. I'm probably going to paint the inside this color, this crinoline. And then on the back, hopefully I'm going to do a black and cream colored paper. That's my plan. That can change. Okay, so I've got this brush. I don't have any idea what brand it is, where I got it. It's got a nice, pretty thick, it's not real flimsy. It's got a sturdy brush stroke. I don't want anything real flimsy or thin. And so I'm going to apply my glue. Now, the trick with the crackle is you don't want to backstroke. You don't want to go back over the area you've just covered because it immediately activates the paint. And then you get just a big smeary blob and it's not fun. But
Laura, Christy, and Katie asked about the paper. Laura said, where do you get the paper? She tried contact paper and it looks tacky.
Does it? Okay. And that's a great question. And Wendy earlier said that the Container Store has good paper. Me, I've only in the past, I've used gift wrap. That's it. I've used a decoupage or a Mod Podge, whatever that is, medium, and it's worked fine for me. I have not done a lot of it. So tonight I'm doing a lot of firsts, especially on camera. The crackle medium I have not done on camera. I have not done the vinegar or salt finish, and I have not done the paper. So that's the plan. Now I may just forget about that whole thing, and I may just paint the back. I'm just not that far yet. I love to change my mind in the middle of things. So how much time do we have left?
We are at 6:37, so about 10
37.
minutes.
Okay, so we have about 10 minutes left. So what I was saying about the crackle is the thicker, the heavier you put it on, the wider the cracks. The thinner you put it on, the thinner the cracks. So depending upon, you know, how much cracking you want and where, you get to determine all of that. It all depends upon what look you're going for. Right now, the look I'm going for, I just want heavy cracks around the bottom drawer, okay? And I'll probably have some heavy cracking around the outside, and then I may just do a light crackle on the inside, and we shall see. And it all depends upon how much I can control how much this goes on. And because I'm left-handed, I'm at a really bad angle. I'm gonna turn this way, and it drifts. So now again, you can't overbrush this because it's going to activate. Now when you see me when you see me do it, I'm working it very quickly, and you can feel it immediately to know when to stop it. And then with this standing straight up, I have found that gravity works as a disadvantage with this crackle. I have a tendency to have big drips, and this is really, so here I'm going to skip around a lot of that, and I'm just going to do around the outside, working very quickly, and then getting any drips that fall. There, I want lots of cracks there, and make sure I have it all covered, because you'll be able to tell, oh, I missed a big spot, when you go back and you have a big flat spot where you don't have any crackle. Okay. Now I'm rubbing back and forth here because I'm really just wiping off any residue that's on my brush. I don't have any really product on there, so I'm not messing. But now if I were to go back here in this area that I've already done and it has sat there, I would smear the white paint all over the place. It would totally reactivate it. I do not want to do that.
And Laura asked if you will have a list of the products that you use somewhere.
Yes, I will put those in the list down below. I can certainly do that. Yeah, if there's something specifically that you want to know, just leave it in the comments and I'll go back and answer those. But all that information is on the video. So now I'm just going around the outside quickly. can stand.
Sherry asked, what crackle medium are you using?
This is the Dixie Belle Crackle Medium. Okay, now I've done a very thin coat just in this little strip right here. I've gone a little heavier on the outside. But I also want to look it over because again, like I said, that gravity does have a tendency to make it drip down. Now I'm going to go on this side. I'm going to do the same thing. I think I got all the way over here, which I did. You can see on here what I've already covered. Okay. And I'm just doing this rim right here. And I do want some pretty heavy cracking right there along that. I would imagine that gets a lot of wear and tear. It's above the above the drawer and below the door. So I'm working quickly, trying not to get too much product in one spot, trying to get it moved around quickly. It's very, very thick. So I'm using quite a bit of pressure to move it around. So I also want to thin it, and now I can see I just did that because I don't want to paint the door shut. Okay.
We're about 2 minutes out.
We're about 2 minutes out, so I'll just quickly recap for you what I did from start to finish. I cleaned the whole piece with the TSP, and it's a very heavy duty wood cleaner. I cleaned that and then I rinsed it really well. You don't want any of that residue staying on your piece, so I just squirt it down with water and I wipe it all off. Then I let that dry, and you don't even need to let it dry because sometimes I even mist my pieces before I start painting. That helps eliminate paintbrush strokes. But in this case, since I'm going for the grungy look, I don't care if you can see paint strokes or paintbrush marks. So from there, I did one coat of the DIY by Debbie's Design Diary crinoline, and then I'm using the Dixie Belle Crackle Medium. And so I'm going to come back on probably Friday to do the rest of this for you right here. I have to let this crackle dry before I can go any further anyway. So I want to thank every single one of you guys for popping on, asking me questions. If you do have any other questions, leave them in the comments and I'll go back and answer them for you. Again, my website's up. You can see me you can see my inventory. Everything that's up on my webpage at www.thenoblewillow.com. It's pretty cool. And that's about it. Thanks for watching, you guys.
Bye-bye.
Good night.